Hey guys, I'm back again, and I'm here to talk to you today about the Women's Prize Shortlist, which was announced today. And wow, wow, wow. Four of the books that I wanted to read, of the six that I had chosen, four of them are on the shortlist. How about that? I mean, wow, I wasn't expecting that at all. But, I do kind of know the Women's Prize a little bit. I've been following it for a minute, not closely, but I do follow it. I used to follow it very closely back in the day, and then some things went awry with their voting, and I was not happy. Anyway, I just wasn't following it as closely. But this year, some of the books on the list kind of did, pique my interest. And so if you didn't catch my video before where I talked about the books that I wanted to read off of the list, go ahead and check that out. But we're going to talk about it and break it down and talk about, what's on the list and how I'm doing, that kind of thing. Okay, so the first book on the list is The Wren, and that's by Anne Enright. Now, Anne Enright is known for writing family stories. Now, the first book that I read by her was called The Gathering, and Anne Enright is an Irish writer. So I did read The Gathering. I wasn't in love with The Gathering. I mean, I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. So I think I gave it maybe around 3 stars. So I did not, put that on my want to read list. And I feel like I'm still going to leave it alone unless somebody actually can sell that book to me. But for the moment, I'm going to leave it alone. So that was the first book that was put on to the Women's Prize shortlist this year. Okay, the second book we're going to talk about is Restless Dolly M by Kate Grenville. Now, this is another one. This book can either be really, really good or a total disaster for me. Now, it does set up something that could be interesting, which is the 19th century dynamic in women, which is something that I enjoy reading about. But I'm just not sure that it's really my cup of tea. It says Dolly Maunder was born at the end of the 19th century when society's long-locked doors were starting to creak ajar for women. Growing up in a poor farming family in country New South Wales, but clever, energetic, and determined, Dolly spent her restless life pushing at those doors. Most women like her have disappeared from view, remembered only in family photo albums as remote figures in impossible clothes, or maybe for a lemon pudding recipe handed down through the generations. Restless Dolly Maunder brings one of these women to life as someone we can recognize and whose struggles we can empathize with. So I'm like, I don't know, Now, the thing that could make it interesting to read is that this author is from Australia. And I think that's pretty cool, because I don't think there are tons of Australian writers that wind up on the Women's Prize long list nor short list, sadly, because I think there are some excellent writers in Australia. We're just not familiar with them. So who knows? I could change my mind on that one. We will see. Okay, now the next book on the list, which I chose on my previous list, which is Brotherless Night. Now, this is a British Sri Lankan writer, and I have not yet started this book, but it already has 4.44 stars on Goodreads, which is just wow. So people must really be liking this book. I'm really going to go for it and, get to this one. It's Jaffna, 1981, 16-year-old Sashi. Okay. Wants to become a doctor. All this. I'm interested. I'm all in for this particular book. I cannot wait. I just don't know how I'm going to consume this book. Am I going to do it with the audio only? Or am I going to do it reading a physical copy or a ebook? I'm not quite sure about that just yet. But I'm thrilled that it made it on to the shortlist. The next book that was on the Women's Prize shortlist is this one, Enter Ghost by Isabella Ahmad. Now, Isabella Ahmad is a writer that I do know because I did read her book, The Parisian, which I absolutely loved. Beautiful writing, beautifully told story. And I expect exactly the same thing from this one. That's why I'm not really that surprised about this one being on the list. If this one wasn't on the list, I was going to be very, very disappointed again with Women's Prize. But it was there, so I'm happy. And I do have this physical copy, which I'm anxious to get to. So this one is a divorcee comes back to live in Israel and Palestine, and it shows her trying to get back into the groove and also to accept being a divorcee. It's very interesting concept for a novel. So happy about this being on the list. Yay! Okay, now the next book on the list is River East, River West. And this is by Aube Ray Lescure. It takes place in China. And this is what makes it really interesting, is because it takes place in China and the book is centered around expats and locals. And often the connection between expats and locals, there's a lot of things to talk about and to explore in that dynamic. And I can't wait to get to River East, River West, because I have a feeling that one is going to be super good as well. It already has 4 stars as well on Goodreads, surprisingly enough. So there's that one. Book number 6, the last book, is Soldering Sailor by Claire Kilroy. I have read this one. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Like, I feel like this one, you need to read it on audio at all cost, because she reads it, that person, I don't know who the person is who read that book, but she read that book to perfection. She got down to the nitty gritty of what it was like to be a first-time mom, the difficulty of being sleep deprived, of being tested to your, to your core, also with a husband that's not very helpful, and, having to stand the crying for so long, and, literally being on her own for a lot of this adaptation. I highly recommend this one. It is done so, so, so well. I just was like, I was taken aback on this one, because I was thinking, when I first started reading, I was like, ooh, where are we going with this? Because this book had me emotionally all over the place. I was clutching my pearls. I was gasping. I was laughing. I was thinking, yeah, girl, I remember that. There was a lot of it. It was just all over the place, but so good, so authentic. Highly recommended. It as well has 4.17 stars on Goodreads already. So highly recommend this one. If you haven't read it, go ahead and check that one out. But like I said, I recommend the audio, because that's how I consumed that one. And it didn't take me long to consume, because it was just that gripping. I just wanted to know what was going to happen next. Well done, Claire Kilroy on that one. Okay, so those are the 6 books that are up for the short list. I don't know who's going to win, but I have a feeling this is going to be a tight race. Tight race for sure. Now, I did read another book from my original list, because on my original list, I had Brotherless Night, Enter Ghost, River East, River West, Soldering Sailor. I had Night Bloom, and I had A Trace of Sun. I read A Trace of Sun. So if you're interested in hearing a review on A Trace of Sun, comment below, thumbs up or something to tell me that you want to hear my review on A Trace of Sun. If I don't get enough thumbs up, then I ain't reviewing it. I'm not even going to waste my time doing that. But interesting novel, A Trace of Sun. But I knew it. I was halfway through the novel, and I said, there is no way this novel is making it on to the shortlist. Now, I cannot explain to you why that is, but there is something in the storytelling, or I think maybe the way it's told. I'm not really sure what it is, but I just knew there was no way that that was going on a short list. And I was right. It didn't go on a short list. So Night Bloom didn't make it, and I don't even think I'm going to read Night Bloom because I'm not really that, interested in really reading it after, having reread what it's about. So I will be continuing, like I said, with Brotherless Night, Enter Ghost, River East, River West, and we will see what comes out of this, the Women's Prize winner, because the winner is going to win, I think, £30,000. And I think the winner is going to be announced on June 13th. So I'm sure I will be finished all the books by then. I would have liked to have been finished all of them now, the ones that I had said I wanted to read, but that just wasn't possible. It just wasn't happening. Too many things going on. So let's talk about it. What do you guys think about this short list? Are you surprised? Did you think that something else was going to be on there? Are you disappointed? Let's talk about it. I can't wait to hear what you got to say. And I'll be back real soon with another video. Bye.